So Taurus, let's go ahead and keep shuffling a little bit. I've been shuffling your cards, and I'm getting to your reading for June 2019. I hope you guys are doing well. Show me energy present for Taurus. June 2019. June 2019 for the sign of Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Taurian energy. June 2019. June. We're going to do a Celtic cross, Taurus, okay? All right, show me energies for Taurus, please. 7. I'm getting a lot of 7s this time. So for the main energy, you have the Three of Swords in reverse. Excellent energy, Taurus. This is an energy of freedom. It's an energy of emotional freedom, moving away from situations that have been emotionally exhausting, heartbreak, not being able to trust people's words in regard to your emotions, you know, letting it go though, letting those swords fall out. That's really healthy energy. The obstacle, 5 of Wands. Okay. So having miscommunications with other people, having people needing to be right, having adversity and conflict with others, you know, and at this point it's almost as if like that's been the problem with one of the problems within a situation, and we're dealing with healing a heart, you know, it's finally coming back to allowing ourselves to feel better about ourselves and not wanting to be in conflict with anybody anymore. It's like turning it on its head. The main energy at the bottom of the deck, you have Judgment. So yeah, what do you pull in? What do you take out? What do you know, that's very Temperance energy as well, but what is going to be best for you in this situation? You know, we have 3 coffins here, 3 of Swords up here. Interesting. What's going to be best for you? What makes you feel better? What makes your heart sing? What makes you function better? I think it's letting go of whatever this frustration was. Past energy, Temperance. So I just said Temperance, it's here as well. Balancing energy out, recognizing what needs to go, what needs to stay, you know. Present energy, King of Cups in reverse. Could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio primarily. The King of Cups in reverse is somebody who is very difficult to deal with. They are a person who is, well, it's not that they're just very difficult to deal with. They are emotionally avoidant. They can turn to substance abuse, alcoholism, drug abuse, when they are trying to mask their feelings. It's somebody who is out of touch with themselves emotionally. They have a difficult time communicating and talking about their emotions, and so it can get a little bit frustrating for them and for those that are around them. It's also somebody who can be very emotionally manipulative as well. Seeing if anything else comes up here. Near future energy, we have the 9 of Wands. So letting go of frustration, no longer wanting to be in situations that cause, you know, distress, where we're having to be defensive about things, having to remain in conflict with somebody. It's throwing that down and letting it go. You may be dealing with somebody who's emotionally unavailable, difficult to deal with and communicate with, and the Judgment is to release here. You may have tried in the past to bring as much balance to the situation as possible, but it almost seems like it was a slap in the face. It didn't work out. It's like it drug you through the mud. The 9 of Wands is talking about letting things go, no longer choosing to be defensive, no longer choosing to have conflict with somebody, okay? Energy where you're at in yourself, we have Strength in reverse. So Leo energy, Strength in reverse talks about lacking courage, lacking faith, sometimes being impatient, being frustrated. It could also be somebody who's being frustrated and impatient with you as well. But the Strength card also talks about like a need to slow down sometimes, where we are rushing to achieve something, and it's like there's patience that's involved with this. And it just could mean also that somebody's emotionally out of balance and out of balance in general, and they need to take some time for themselves, okay? What's coming toward you, Taurus? You have the Four of Cups in reverse. So Four of Cups in reverse is an interesting card. It often talks about energies where we are picking something up, like picking something back up, or allowing ourselves to entertain the idea of going in a situation with somebody. It's interesting. One of the other readings had the same energy that I'm picking up right now. Hang on, I'm sorry. Who was that? Anyways, the energy for that reading, it's like they were willing to continue to try something, but then they realized in the end that it would be better to just let it go. It's like they had, was it Capricorn? Maybe it was Capricorn. Somebody had like the tenacity to do that. It's like they were up against a bigger situation, which was more corporate, more job related, but what ended up happening in that situation was it was like somebody had the tenacity to continue on with something or give it another go, and then they realized this doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me, so they ended up relenting and letting it go. And I'm going to clarify cards here, but it may feel like that may be the back and forth, okay? Hopes, worries, concerns, fears. You have the King of Wands. So fire energy, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. The King of Wands is an interesting card. He is somebody who is forthright. He's outgoing. He's going to, claim his stake in the world. He gets things moving. He's very passionate. Here, he doesn't look very passionate. He looks kind of like a bump on a log. He looks a little bit more just waiting, kind of depressed. It's like there's no it's almost as if you were trying to bring the passion back to this, or somebody was trying to bring the passion back to this, it's almost as if it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's like you're putting water on the fire, or somebody is. Outcome card, you have the Seven of Swords in reverse, so that's good. The Seven of Swords in reverse, that is letting go of painful situations that have occurred. Letting go of situations where we've been cheated on, lied to, stolen from. People have been deceptive with us, where we let that go. We create that energy, or we allow that energy to move so we can create more from it, and let it go. That's good. That's good. It can be apologies sometimes, people having very, come to Jesus moments, realization, self-realization, and how they've affected others. But for the most part, it's a dissolve of that. Now, I don't know if this is going to be something where you want to remain in the situation. It doesn't feel like it, honestly. It feels like you might try and give it another go, but then in the reality of it, it's like, I don't want to. So, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this is an energy of imbalance. Sure, it can talk about giving to more than one person. You do have the Three of Swords here in the center of the reading, which can refer to third-party situations, people playing, games with you. Seven of Swords in reverse. Taurus, it's kind of a situation, though, where it's like there's been a fair amount of imbalance. There's been frustration. I don't even want to say miscommunications, but people angry with each other, conflict. And it's like, I think here we're really trying to let it go. I don't know if that's to let it go to try and create more in your experience, more with this person, but it feels like there's a point where it's like, no, I don't feel right about it. So let's go ahead and clarify this reading for you. It doesn't feel like somebody's passionate about getting into it. Like you have the passion, or somebody has the passion here, but then it's like, it doesn't work. All right. Show me for Taurus. Show me the Three of Swords for Taurus, please. Three of Swords for Taurus. Page of Pentacles. I'm sorry, Knight of Pentacles. It's not the Knight, it's the King. Thank you. Sorry. Switching back and forth between decks can be a little bit frustrating. This is a Thoth deck. It's a little bit different. This is the King of Pentacles here. So within this situation, Three of Swords energy, the King of Pentacles, it's almost as if what we're doing is releasing this type of frustrated heart energy. And we're willing to move forward in building something for ourselves. That can be away from a person, you know, stabilizing your energy. You may have been dealing with an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, but I feel, Taurus, that this is more so your energy. You're coming up as the King of Pentacles here. I feel that it's taking time for yourself, really kind of being sometimes stingy with the energy that you share with others. Which is a good thing. That's that type of selfishness, sorry. And it leads you to something more prosperous, more balanced. I think you may need to have also some of that bull energy here, Taurus, that stubbornness in regard to going back to a situation. Show me Judgment, or I'm sorry, show me the Five of Wands for Taurus. So the Five of Wands here, you have two cards popping out in reverse. You've got the Page of Cups in reverse and the Four of Wands in reverse. So this is with the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So a lot of mental frustration and mental cycling. I feel anger. I feel betrayal. I feel frustrated energy within this card. This is a fair amount of conflict here. But the Page of Cups in reverse, this is either not receiving the type of emotional response that we would need, apologies, not receiving them. It can also talk about not being somebody who's depressed as well, somebody who's not able to communicate effectively on their emotional stance. Emotionally communicate effectively. Okay. And then the Four of Wands, it's a dissolve of foundations between two people. It's a dissolve of foundations between each other. Some of you may be, you know, having to let go of a connection with somebody where one is moving out and one is maintaining the home. Sorry, like you have 10 billion cards flying out here. I'm going to pick them up. Give me a second, I need to get these together. It's interesting too, like starting your reading, I feel very tired. Like I don't know why, like I feel exhausted right now. I feel exhausted, like it's hard to talk. Like my energy is like at an all-time low, even though before I started the reading, I was skipping around. I gave my friend, my neighbor, some eggs from my chickens. Like it was kind of a happy little time there. And like this energy here, it's just, I feel like I'm stuck. Like I feel like I'm stuck in the mud. I feel like I'm worn down. That's what I feel like, worn down. This is tiring. Show me Judgment for Taurus. You have the Two of Wands in regard to judgment. So being in your head about things, which decision to make, which direction to go in. Sometimes this is a dissolve of communication in regard to somebody, you know, and if you've been dealing with somebody who's difficult to talk to, if you've been dealing with somebody who has an emotional, they don't communicate well emotionally, like that's not going to fly in the long term. That's not going to fly over time, you know. So I feel like somebody here is very in their head about what is going to make them happy. What's going to bring light and life back into your experience? I feel like somebody needs to heal from this. I think somebody needs to heal from this. It feels like that Three of Swords energy is very present here, like that emotional, distraught energy, upset, kind of just really hurt. And it's like you're tired of it. Somebody who's tired of it. I'm tired of it. I don't know why I feel like I'm like drugged right now. I don't know what this is. It's very confusing. Show me Temperance for Taurus, please. Three cards popping out. So you have the Queen of Pentacles here. You have the King of Pentacles in the center now. So this is an energy between two people as well. Now, you could be dealing with a earth sign, again, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. But it feels like the balance between two people may be a bit off. In the past, you may have tried to hold on to the situation, communicate yourself through it, you know, talk about it in depth. But at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords, which is talking about essentially really just looking at everything and being like, you know what, no, this doesn't work. I've talked about it with you. I've tried to hang on to this with you. And we have like this giant rift. There's a constant miscommunication. There's constant strife, frustration. I feel anger here for some reason. And like somebody who's not getting what they need over and over again. That's what it feels like to me. It's like somebody who's not getting what they need constantly. I may do another reading for you guys. This one, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. Show me the King of Cups. Okay. So for the King of Cups in reverse, immediately, like I didn't even finish that, you have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So the King of Cups in reverse, again, it's that emotionally distant person, somebody who doesn't use their communication wisely. They might be dealing with drug addiction or alcoholism or numbing themselves. Is that why I feel like numb? I feel fuzzy. I feel like I'm drugged right now. The Nine of Swords is an energy where we have been in our head about this constantly, over and over and over again. We aren't releasing it. It's been a problem for us, you know. We're defensive about a person. We're constantly in conflict with somebody. We don't, you know, have the answers. And when they do communicate with us, it's like trying to sift through sand. Like you're not really going to get anything. Like you, it's difficult, you know, it's difficult thoughts. It's unresting energy. And with the Nine of Pentacles popping up for it as well, it's like, I choose to get away from that. I choose to do this on my own now. I don't want to be in that energy. The whole thing is conflicting. It's like conflicting energy, constant in this situation. Show me the Nine of Wands in reverse for Taurus. Nine of Wands in reverse for Taurus. So Six of Wands. Okay. So the Six of Wands in regard to the Nine of Wands, it's removing yourself from situations that are exhausting. And when you do that, you recognize yourself. It's about bringing balance back into yourself. You know, you start moving towards things that actually make sense for you when you let go of that type of energy. You move towards things where you will be recognized for your efforts and your energy in relationships, you know. I don't feel like this is something where we want to continue on with the situation. I feel like it's kind of done, but maneuvering yourself out of this is where the problems have been. Letting it go has been problematic. And it's like somebody's trying to move forward, somebody's trying to pursue or persevere, but then it's like there's just water being thrown out onto the fire. Show me the Strength in reverse. So you have the Page of Swords here for Strength in reverse. That's needing to have very blunt communication. Sometimes it may not be very effective as far as like it may seem immature. Somebody may need to calm themselves down. This can also communicate an energy where we're very upset and we're fiery in our communication, where we're having a lot of conflict, a lot of fighting, a lot of impatient words, frustrations. Yeah. Looking into a situation deeper to see what it actually is presenting itself versus, just going with the flow. But it feels like there's anger here. I feel so cloudy. I don't know what this is. This is really frustrating. I feel like I just want to sleep for like days. I'm kind of depressed. I want to sleep for days. You guys, this is not the energy that I had right before I started your video. Show me the Four of Cups in reverse for Taurus. Seven of Wands. So yeah, Four of Cups, considering, like, trying to go back to this, considering rehashing this, considering how you can make it work, but then realizing that it doesn't work. It literally just brings conflict. And this may be somebody who wants to try and do this with you, but the reality of it is it brings conflict. If this King of Cups in reverse is the one that's trying to get things going again or trying to move forward with you, it doesn't work. It's like, I've already seen what you give me. I've already seen how you treat me. I don't want to do this with you. Seven of Wands talks about fighting. It talks about anxiety, having to get a clearer picture of a situation so you can maneuver your way out of it. I'd rather see this card in reverse. That's when you just drop it and don't care anymore, which I feel like you're going to do anyhow, but it's realizing that more and more of this just leads to the same thing: frustration, anxiety, animosity. Show me the King of Wands. You have the you have the Magician, and you've got the Ace of Cups flying out in reverse. You know what, Taurus, with these two, it's not the Magician, it's the Universe. So it's the World in reverse. I'm sorry, these cards are small. The Universe in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse. This is a need for healing. It's somebody who is not healing. It's somebody who is perpetuating negative cycles. The World in reverse talks about unfinished business, but sometimes we just need to let that go. We don't have to have the last say in something. Sometimes we just need to let it go. And again, I feel reference to that Capricorn video. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you may want to watch the Capricorn video. I don't know if it's going to fit in with your situation. A lot about letting go, a lot about not maintaining the status quo in society, and like really freeing yourself from those bonds, and being conscious of how you release things. The Universe in reverse, though, that talks about wanting to go back to something again. It talks about wanting to either fix something or rehash something or not release this type of energy. But what it leads to is emotional imbalance. It's reflective of somebody who is not emotionally connected to themselves. And so it's like they try and seek outward from situations that are going to be negative no matter what. They're disregarding themselves so they can get some sort of outcome that they feel is supposed to be, but it's not. Whether that's this person that you're dealing with or yourself, somebody needs to move away from this. Somebody needs to find a way to get away from the lackluster. Is that what I'm feeling? Lackluster? King of Wands, really, really, really get things moving in your life. Again, it's almost as if like you want to move forward in your own way, but not necessarily with this person. Doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life completely, but it doesn't mean that it's more indicative of the relationship not staying the way it was. Whether or not you are able to maintain a friendship with this person, or if you just need to distance yourself for now. That's what I'm feeling. It's like it can't be the same way, though. It can't maintain the same way that it has been going. It's too tiring. It's too tiring. Show me the Seven of Swords in reverse. Seven of Swords in reverse for Taurus. So you have the 10 of Wands in reverse, which is great, with the Fool at the bottom of the deck. So, immediately what I'm feeling here is a level of forgiveness, a level of frustrating forgiveness, having dealt with somebody, but it's like we're letting it go. We can forgive them for whatever bullshit that they've put us through. And then you have the Fool at the bottom of the deck, which is when we do that, we free ourselves from a situation where we've kind of been held stuck with somebody or with some type of like ever-present energy. It's just like looming energy. I don't know what this is, but it feels like a giant black cloud. It's really, really tiring, you guys. Yeah, I like want to take a fucking like week-long nap. Show me the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, so you have the Sun. This is incredibly positive. It's important. The 6 of Pentacles in reverse. This may be information coming out about what it is that kept the situation out of balance, whether that is a third-party situation or not. Underneath the 6 of Pentacles, you have the Lovers in reverse as well. This is basically energy where things are illuminated, where we have better understanding, a full spectrum of understanding in regard to a situation and a person. And while that may not be like the complete death knell, like where it just obliterates everything for you, like you may be able to find some sort of balance with this person, but needing to take a break. Either this is a relationship that's gone terribly awry and you don't want to get rid of the person completely in your life, but also you need a huge break, and so you opt to do that. Or it is actually leaving a situation entirely and forging on your own. So I want at least some sort of advice or guidance. Give me some sort of something for Taurus. This reading, it's very tiring, very confusing. I don't know how to express this reading. Give me some guidance for Taurus, please. I like the Line Striker deck. It's very clear and crisp and in its colors, or sometimes lack thereof. Show me energy for Taurus. Give me some advice for Taurus, please. Give me advice for Taurus, please. So 2 cards popping out. You have the 5 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. So this is letting something go, letting something very painful go, you guys. This is talking about recognizing where we've been hurt, and it's literally walking away from something. It's just letting it go. The 5 of Pentacles can talk about being left out in the cold, whatever, but it's no longer wanting to engage in something that's been frustrating and painful. You'd rather work on something that's better for you in the long run, with more longevity, and be treated with honesty and respect, you know. Sometimes we want to hold on to a situation even though we know it's terrible for us, and we try, but then in the end we just realize this is not something good. Come on. All right, that one really wants to come out. I'm going to pick one more because. Okay, so the first one that really wanted to come out is Dawn. And then the next one that came out is Fennec Fox. All right, let's read about Dawn. First page I go to. Dawn. Dualities, cycles, end. Dawn is defined as the end of night, when the last light appears in the sky just before sunrise. The mountainous scene in this card was inspired by my 2015 trip to Bali. As part of the trip, we did a sunrise hike up Mount Batur, one of the active volcanoes on the island. We started hiking around 2 in the morning, when it was still dark, and made it up to the top right before the sun started rising. As I stood at the summit, enjoying my hot breakfast and watching the colors appear in the sky, I felt a sense of peace and completion, having overcome a grueling journey. For the creatures of the night, another challenging night has passed, and it is time for rest until the next sundown. The cycles that it talks about here, I feel that rest before the next sundown. Like, I feel like you've gone through too many sundowns with this. I feel like this is done. It's recycled. It's old. It's done. It needs to go. and let's look up Fennec Fox. I don't feel like I've ever read Fennec Fox before. It's a new one to me. Maybe I have read it. I don't know. I read so many things. Fennec Fox. Pioneer. Adaptation. The fennec fox is the smallest of all foxes and is found in the deserts of North Africa. In such a harsh environment, these marvelous creatures have evolved large ears which radiate body heat and keep them cool. Their paws are hairy, which act as snowshoes, and also which provide protection against the searing hot sand. Like other desert animals, they are also able to go a long time without water. These interesting adaptations remind us to always be open to change, even under difficult circumstances. Yeah, if you've been trying to fix this or work it out, it's like the change here is the reality that it needs to just dissolve. I'm not saying never speak to the person again, but the type of relationship that you maintain with this person may have to be reworked entirely. It may be something where you have to let them go as a partner and create distance and then maybe come back to them years later. Some of you may be just letting it go and moving on to something different. Okay, I need some water. I need something different. This reading was very tiring. Maybe I need a nap. All right, Taurus, I hope everything goes well for you. Let's reconvene in a couple of weeks for the mid-June reading of 2019, and I will see you then. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and if you want to donate, there's a donation link in the description box below, and for those of you that have donated, I really, really value that. I appreciate that from you, and it's very kind, and I appreciate your consideration, and I hope that you've gotten some information out of these readings. So yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.